What's going on, my creative collective? Welcome, Scorpio. This is your reading for May. This is your May creative forecast. So there are a couple things and energies that we are able to surf in this month, and it's kind of neat. So we had the Pluto retrograde that kicked off on April 29th, and we also had the new moon in Taurus. So that kicked off solar eclipse season and just eclipse season in general on the 29th as well. We have a bunch of Mars energy, active this month. And we also have a Mercury retrograde on the 10th of May. And then we have the Scorpio full moon on the 16th of May as well. So there's a lot of ways that we can be activated, and not activated as in dysregulated, activated just meaning that our energy can be heightened, and so too can our senses in that way, right? So this is about grounding energy and understanding what the energy means to us if it arises in a way that catches our attention and sort of pulls at our heart in that way, right? So we're going to dive in here, Scorpio. So first, I would like to invite the angels, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space, and I ask that it is a safe and brave space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. Okay, let's do this. So, Spirit, can I get some messages for Scorpio, please, for their creative forecast for May? Please and thank you. I'm hearing something about Mercury. There could be some communication, but also just like tempering that. Something about that towering magnificence. Hey, look at you. Look at you, Scorpio. Knowing without knowing. Ooh. Not in a bad way. That sound is not bad. It's just like intense, like towering magnificence. And then this card in another reading was like, it had like ancient lineages and that kind of energy coming to it. So it's almost like there's some really big shift for you, Scorpio. Big. Not in a way that's fear-based either. This isn't about fearing energy, riding the cosmic wave. Pisces had that one as well. I think a couple others did. Heaven. Oh, I like this energy a lot. I don't know why I put that so far over here. Maybe there's something you're trying to move away from yourself, but I feel like this is like, I'm getting that almost that this is like destiny points activated right now for you, Scorpio. I mean, that's what eclipses do, right? They activate the north and south nodes. They can also affect things like fixed signs more. So like Taurus, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. So double check the placements of the sun, moon, rising, and Venus in your chart. What I am seeing here for you, though, Scorpio, is this way that I feel like you're bringing all of these disparate things together in a way that is leaving people with a sense of awe. 333 was just on the time. And leaving people in a sense of awe, not because you doubted, like, not because people doubted that you could do it, but it's just the way that you're doing it with so much grace. Like, I get this, like, riding the cosmic wave card is like you doing this with such effortless, like, this ease. Things are flowing in a way that maybe I'm getting it's like surprising you a little bit. Maybe surprising you. And I'm getting that there's some kind of past life connection here or lifetime connection. This could also be you connecting with guides and light beings. I'm just seeing all of these figures around you right now, Scorpio. Look at that. Like, these aren't just shapes in the clouds. I get these as being like ancestors, guides, teachers, right? You could be working in the Akashic records or in like the field, the unconscious fields. Collective fields and pulling energy from that, and also wisdom and knowing too. But I feel like there's something about right now, there's like this 5D storyline that's happening here. I'm very eager to see how this is playing out more in 3D, but I'm getting that this is like not just a chakra activation, but I'm also getting that this is like this is you connecting with a much deeper like deeper ancient wisdom, This is where like I'm getting that past life thread again. Let me read one of the cards to you here before I just keep talking at you. I kind of want to read heaven. Okay. You are meant to live heaven. Now, not later, sometime after you die. What use is this life and body if not to live heaven now? Look for the mad divine genius that in all that is, especially the puzzling parts of your life that make you scratch your head or tear at your hair or scrunch up your face and scream with frustration. Those are the places in which the divine is saying, here, heaven is hiding. Let's unveil it together. Let me show you. Let me unveil your own mad divine genius right here. Look for heaven even in hiding. It will not withhold itself from you for long, beloved. It wants to be known by you. This oracle brings you a special message. The enlightener is calling you to more divinity, more love, more acceptance, more embrace of life itself. There is no limit in what is being offered to you from the divine lover, calling to you the beloved. Rejoice and know that the dance of love between you and the divine is a removing of veils of illusion, one at a time, until you behold each other naked and true, finally to discover that you are each other, your love. Wow. Wow. Okay, so there's poems at the end of every one of these things. This is very okay. Anyways, the sky ablaze with morning light on silver wings of birds in flight. In gratitude a tear released, a knowingness embraced at peace. She speaks to those that gaze below, ancestral wings which call my soul, to open hearts and soar above. In awe the winds await this love. I feel like I just said some prophecy shit right there. Like what? No, I'm kidding. It's very good. This is Scorpio. This is really incredible. She speaks to those that gaze below. She speaks to those that gaze below, ancestral wings which call my soul, to open hearts and soar above. In awe the winds await this love. I feel like this is an activation of mission for sure. Like some kind of spiritual path, or something that is you're doing that is going to reconnect you with your feeling like this is what you came here to do. And I feel like this is like your 5D self. There's this whole process that you may not really like, you may glimpse it happening, but there have been these shifts and changes, my dear Scorpios, that's coming together. A lot of like large energy. Like this is like divine gateway. Who else had that? I think Virgo did. So I'm getting a lot of energies in readings lately of like collective awakening, but collective awakening of like the higher energy centers. So the soul star, and I think the other one is the galactic, and then there's the divine gateway. And these ones are expanding, and it's like an awakening of this energy. But then I feel like there's other energy centers that extend further, that we are taking on as a collective, and that there's a whole other system that is developing for the collective. It's hard to explain this, but this is multiple times that this has come through in both, channeling that I've been doing, but then also readings, and then a dream that I had as well. So it's like we're getting a new chakra system that is a more collectively oriented one. But it's not a new one. It's been there the whole time. But it's like our consciousness is changing and shifting. And as we evolve into these like higher energies, there's something else that's going to be joining the party as well. Not in a bad way, but it's just like when you think as a collective, when you think in service to the collective, there's a collective energy that emerges from that. This could already be a thing. But it's just been very prominent lately. And I feel like this is part of what you're experiencing here, is this activation of higher energy, Scorpio. Interesting. I'm going to pull from the Smith-Waite Tarot here and get a vibe, get a feel for what's going on here for you, Scorpio. Spirit, can I get some clarification on this Towering Magnificence card, please? Yeah. I feel like you're just doing things in your life right now, Scorpio, that are in service to this 10 of Cups. Like, I feel like it's like an epiphany. I'm getting like almost judgment more than tower. Like, I feel the judgment card more than a tower card. Because I'm getting that you're integrating this knowledge and this knowing, this wisdom. And that it's like pulling you into a higher consciousness. It's like pulling you into that higher state, higher consciousness, elevated consciousness. 5 of Swords. 10 of Pentacles, 8 of Swords, King of Cups. I think the pathway is through your emotions, number one. Number two, the 10 of Pentacles here is to me about that something bigger than you, right? Like, and the 10 of Cups is also something bigger than you. To me, these are like family and ancestral cards, that sort of legacy, right? The legacy that we leave behind, the imprint that we leave behind, 1111 on the time. And I think that this 5 of Swords in this particular context represents a way that, the way that you did things before in terms of competitiveness or competitive energies that you were around might have made you feel a bit like, are you actually deserving of this? Like, it's like seeing yourself as like, you need to engage in this kind of energy because you can't really trust that you just deserve this kind of good stuff to come to you, period. And you don't need to do that. What if who you are was just enough? What if who you are was just enough, Scorpio? And I think there's something that you can't quite see about that. Like, it's almost like it's, that too soon. Like those kinds of, like, too soon. Like those kinds of jokes, right? Where but it's an energy that's there, like that. Too tender. That's too tender. So this King of Cups energy is I think you starting to, see and embrace that, that this has been happening, and I think this is you having a degree of clarity. Yeah, the Hermit on the bottom. This is like wisdom on the path. Like you're seeing the way that you. Okay, so many thoughts coming through right now. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think that you're beginning to see how your self-perception and it's like self-awareness, but self-perception more than awareness, because awareness would indicate present moment, like existence and staying in the present moment, right? But this this embrace is not, this embracing energy is embracing the wisdom, and it's like an emotional awareness and emotional wisdom. And this is where it's like emotions are going to be the gateway for you to enter into this higher consciousness, this higher space. I feel like it's going to be very crucial for work that you're doing. And work that you're doing for the planet can just be like, so this was on the bottom of the deck and then the wheel was on the split. So it's like work that you're doing, like there's some kind of destiny unfolding here, knowing without knowing. Oh, it was like that right. Okay. This knowing without knowing card that just stayed down. 7 of Cups. I feel there's like this energy of like, but I don't know that I don't know that I don't know, or I don't know what I don't know, something like that. But I feel like that's not the point, because that's a grasp at knowledge through rationality. These cards. So I have the Page, so Hanged Man and Page of Pentacles. I feel like things are going to start to come to you, but you need to chill on trying to figure everything out. You don't have to have answers for everything that people ask. You don't have to have answers for everything that comes up. It's okay to just let things be, and to just rest right now. I think there's this like enlightenment will come to you, and awareness, understanding will come to you through rest, and feeling your feelings, right? 7 of Cups is like that's an emotions card. This tends to be about having options, but the way I'm reading it is like there are so many different ways that you can be feeling right now, and you need to let them all come out. You need to let them all come out so that you can see and clearly evaluate what is actually going on beneath the surface. The wheel can be Piscean energy. I read it as Jupiter energy and Sagittarius as a result of the Jupiter. but this can be Pisces energy, and then the Hanged Man can also be Pisces energy. And this is like very, I feel like this, it can feel kind of beyond you a little bit, maybe. Like it might feel a little bit beyond you. Like there's, feeling like stagnant as a result, like feeling like you're kind of stuck. Things aren't moving forward at all. But I think that it's not that they're not moving forward. It's just that this is part of the work that you can't see because you don't understand yet the finish line, the big picture finish line. Like there's like the 5D finish line, and that's not even a finish line because we can never get it done. That's what Abraham Hicks says, right? You can never get it done. So it's like the understanding that what you have perceived to be work is going to need to shift in light of this different consciousness and awareness that you're taking on and bringing on for yourself. Bringing on for yourself, yeah, through meditation and things like that. And then we have the Page of Pentacles here, which is, I think this is that that knowledge coming to you. I think that it's the knowledge coming to you, but I get that it's also like a sort of realistic view. Like these are things that it's like grounding it in something. These are messages that are coming in, but then it's like they become more real suddenly this month for you, Scorpio. And this can be people coming in, but this strikes me as more of consciousness energy. This is an energy that's coming in. This is an awareness that's coming in, right? This is understanding that's coming in, but it's grounded in something. So this is like taking 5D stuff, right? Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. So it's bringing it into something that's tangible, yes, but also it is sort of a connectedness to 5D for you, Scorpio. There's a connectedness to 5D here. And I think it's because you're feeling like you're allowing emotions to expand, understanding that they ebb and flow like waves. Like you're riding the cosmic wave. You're also riding emotional waves because they're so connected to this. I'm getting this galactic chakra opening for you. Or opening, or messages coming through it. There's arguments. Some say that the transpersonal chakras are not. They're always active, and that they can only be activated more. So that's, some folks have said that. But that is, I guess, a lot of subjective stuff. It depends on what feels right for you in terms of that truth. But I feel like there's something, like messages are coming through these things, and it's connecting you to a universal consciousness and a universal awareness that is going to inform what you do, which is really powerful. Because when you have like an accountant, for example, I have a learning disability with numbers. They flip. So it's like dyslexia, but with numbers. So when I see things like 1111 on the timer, 444, my brain is like, yeah, I can't mess that up. But it's also just, it's like, you can have an accountant. I don't know why I'm going there. I mentioned that about the disability because of this. But anyways, imagine having an accountant who, like, that doesn't strike most people as the most inspiring job. Some people love it though. But imagine having that galactic chakra open and just going to work every day, or having that divine gateway or soul star open, right? You don't have to do spiritual work when you have these things open. You can do everyday work in the 3D, and you can bring this light to that space that you're in. Some folks do other work, but some people are in the field that they would choose regardless of whether, we had different systems in place that facilitated shifting careers, without the barriers of like education that doesn't really educate you on what you're doing, right? Like, so, I mean, the jobs that you can be trained on, right? But that require education, is what I'm trying to say. But there's like a way that, like, it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. Like, your mission can be anything you want it to be, and anything that resonates, really. I mean, anything you want it to be that resonates and that is in alignment with things. But like, what I'm getting here is this way that it's like, it doesn't have to be like extraordinary. Like, it can just be everyday stuff that starts to come to life for you because of these shifts in consciousness that you're having. And again, like I feel like today I was thinking about it, and it makes me want to do like a collective reading on this, just to see what the hell comes out, because I'm getting a lot of messages of like soul graduations and, like uplifted energy and that kind of thing. And now more of this, ancient wisdom consciousness coming through, and just that idea of, it's like timelines feel like they're converging, almost like they're converging. Like there's no ley lines around here specifically. Like I've checked, and not around where I am, but it's like it feels like there's this convergence of energy that's happening, on the planet right now, where it in 3D it feels like we're going backwards, right? In 3D it feels like we're going backwards, but in 5D there's this expansion that's taking place that's informing what looks like a contracting in 3D that is actually going to be an expansion, because we have to first uproot the systems that oppress people, right? Like, for example, Roe versus Wade, they're talking about overturning that. Well, that's the draft memo in the States. And a governor has suggested that Congress pass a law that makes that a right, like that makes it impossible. And 17 other governors have signed on to this to push Congress to do that. So what was just a piece of legislation that was used as case law could now become the writ, like that could become the encoded into a bigger protection that is in place, at a government level, right? Like, so it's like we're uprooting things and then replacing them and moving them around. And like, it's infuriating that this is happening. But it's also, to me, it's like all of these things, right? Like, and naturally, like folks are worried about, gay marriage next, right? So it's like we're pulling all of the systems that these things were rooted in, not pulling up gay marriage. I'm talking about the fact that the Supreme Court was where the finality lay, right? And then we're putting it into another place that encodes it in a different way, right? That encodes it in a different way to protect that. So it's almost like we're shifting these values and understanding what's most important to us, in the 3D, but in the 5D, this expansion is taking place in a totally different way. Scorpio, what the heck? But this is, this doesn't necessarily have to do with you specifically, but just to explain how I'm feeling some of these energies and how it's coming to me when I go into the records and when I channel. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Queen of Swords, Eight of Cups, King of Swords, Death, Tower. Damn. Well, there's Six of Wands here, so I mean, I just heard six of one, a half dozen of the other. There's two ways to look at this. There's two ways of looking at this. Wow. Okay, Scorpio, this is very loud. So there's two ways of looking at the changes in the ways that you're walking your path right now. Queen of Swords, King of Swords, both very clear, right? Both pull no punches. Like, this is not like fluffy communication. This is direct. And I feel like you're very clear on the path that you're on. This also strikes me as eclipse energy as well. So this is you, like in the 5D, riding the cosmic wave, and in 3D I feel like you're getting all this clarity because you're taking concrete steps to care for your path. This is also a form of self-care. Is caring for your path is self-care, Scorpio. We don't often associate it that way, but I see it as such because you're tending to something that's truly important to you and that you feel is on the path for you. So I'm getting this way of like, I'm getting this way that you have been, I'm getting this way that you have been seeking clarity and you're finding it. You're finding it. But again, six to one half dozen of the other, because of the Six of Wands. And I was like, there's two ways of looking at things, right? There's two ways of looking at things. 5D change, 3D change. Where's the holy ship bar? But then this is more that fertile ground after transformation or amidst transformation. It's seeing the higher octave. I don't know why I'm getting like they're the higher octave of one another. I know that that's not necessarily the case, but I'm really seeing that in this reading. When I think about the way that the woods smell in the fall or the spring, right? That's what I think of when I think of this, like growth. The potential for new life, like all of the things that can be new. And in the 3D, we don't often see this. We don't often smell that. We don't get a whiff of that on the wind, right? I think of it as like the internet for animals. So we don't get a whiff of that of like nature's internet, right? We only hear the crash bang of a tower falling, be it in the form of an epiphany or the way that other people see us or see it. But I feel like this is two ways of looking at what's happening for you right now, Scorpio, or what has happened right now. And I think this is not just a perspective for you to hold with your personal life, like for you personally. I think this is also a perspective to hold for things that you're watching unfold otherwise, right? Like this is the way spirit sees change, transformative, leaving things behind that weren't working. It's like the higher octave of changes, because this is the rebirth energy. And this is like the tower falling. Neither are good or bad inherently. That's not what I'm arguing for. I'm saying that this is two perspectives and ways that you're looking at things. And I think the Six of Wands is here because this is like the victory in the 3D. Victory in the 3D. But I feel like this is an element of success. It's an element of success that we are finally giving ourselves. Like this is like, you need to believe in yourself. And these are also milestones on the path too, right? These are milestones on the path. This is like validation on your journey, validation. And it's also about thinking about what success means to you. 2626 was just on the time. So it's like thinking about what success means to you. What does it mean to you specifically? And how do you define it? Right? Yeah. This is like the success above, like getting to that, to the I'm seeing this plant, like, you know, those time-lapse videos where like the plant like wiggles out of the ground and grows. I feel like this is like wiggling out of the ground and growing. And then another milestone will be when, it's the branches start to sprout. Then another milestone will be when another milestone is going to be when the flowers bloom on that particular tree or bush or what have you. Then when the leaves start to burst forth and unfurl, like curl out of their tight buds, right? This is like milestones on the path, and I feel like that's how you might need to see some of these changes, or changes that have been taking place, and just seeing the way the energy shifts and flows, and that way you can emplace your own journey with those same milestones and that same level of success, Scorpio. Interesting. So we have this Heaven card. This energy feels very, very lovely. It's like almost an ascension. Like I get the staircase on this. Like you're climbing the staircase. Like this is you ascending. But it's like, it's not just in a way of like it's like a higher consciousness that you're seeing through right now. Like maybe I part of me wants to be like, dare I say enlightenment, but not as a hierarchical step up. Like there's no superiority in this card in this sense. It's really like we're getting to a place of opening up. We're getting to a place of opening up. Not just opening up though. I feel like you've already been open. High Priestess. No kidding. So I got the High Priestess on the Heaven card. So I feel like there's a lot. It's just beautiful energy, Scorpio. I'm not frustrated at all. It's just, I keep sighing because I'm like, wow, like this is a real unfolding for you. It's absolutely beautiful. And I feel very humbled when I see cards like this come out in a reading, because I'm just like, wow, this is amazing for you. This is genuinely amazing for you. Justice, Ten of Swords, King of Wands, the Moon. Yeah. So the High Priestess and the Justice card, this tells me that there was a lot of conflict, and there's like this back and forth about about what's happening right now for you. And I feel like this can also represent like an inner critic, and it's like we're choosing who to listen to now. Like we have a very clear view of who to listen to right now. And what to listen to, when we're putting an end to the voices that didn't really support our highest expansion and that creative potential inherent in this process, in this work that we're doing, or the work that we want to do. Again, this can be spiritual business related. This doesn't necessarily have to be, though. It doesn't necessarily have to be. I think this is also a remember that your pain had a very deep purpose. Your pain had a very deep purpose here, my Scorpios. And I feel like this Ten of Swords and Justice is like the I guess like the writing of that, and things coming together for you related to that purpose. Like it's not a wheel necessarily. It's not the wheel necessarily. But I think that this is justice coming to the fore and things working out in your favor. This is things working out. Like it had a purpose. The King of Wands is like the card of like being in alignment with your purpose. And I feel like this is you finding that purpose after what was probably a bit of pain and disconnect, because I think that that was where I'm hearing, it's a Leonard Cohen poem, "The cracks are where the light gets in." A poem or song, something along those lines. I believe it was a Rumi quote as well, or Hafiz, one of the two. Forgive me for not knowing for sure, but yeah, so the King of Wands here is, I think, you aligning with your purpose. And I think this is like very purposeful, a purposeful way of being and way of living. And I think that's just so profound for you, Scorpio. This is beautiful. And I think that this is also letting things that you can't see be right now. Letting things that seem to be beyond you be. Because I think that this is like ambiguity, and this is making peace with the ambiguity, because things are going to become clear for you. They're going to become clearer. And that's just, I think this is really important energy to pay attention to, Scorpio. Like, don't get too caught up in what is unseen and feeling like you have to know it all, or feeling like it has to be all figured out. It doesn't need to be. But this, I feel like this, my cheeks are going red. There's like this consciousness raising happening here for you, Scorpio. And I think it's important that you step into it fully and completely, because it's really to your benefit. There may be hesitation, all of that. But again, the Death card is here. Like you're showing up in your power, right? You're showing up empowered through changes taking place. And this does strike me as definite North and South Node activation, because I mean we have a lot of the cards that would indicate some kind of fate or twists of fate, changes, things like that. I mean, we do have the Moon card, literally. We have the High Priestess. All of these cards here on the top. This is more the 5D process that I'm seeing unfold for you. And then I'm also seeing the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, the Wisdom, the Hermit card, the Wheel, the Tower, Death, Justice, like all of the Hanged Man, a lot of these things. It's almost like the hero's journey, right? Like these are the different stages of the hero's journey, right? So I'm going to pull these cards here. Spirit, can you give me some messages for Scorpio, please? This creative energy for May, please, and thank you so much. Creativity. Yes. I like this a lot. I feel like there's a way that you're stepping into your creative power and energy. You're stepping into your creative power and energy, and it's really helping you. And this is also seeing the creative potential in any towers that are falling and in any transformations taking place, the fertile ground upon which you stand. This is very, very important right now. Wow. Okay, so I'll read that to you. So I am free to play, free to love, laugh, and experiment. I am free to experience, to create, and to manifest. I am free to be myself. I allow my creative potential to flow through me in all of its glory and magnificence. I flow. 3333 was just on the time. So I think that this, in this particular way, is looking at the creative potential in the ways that you maybe doubted yourself a little bit, and doubted whether this path or the things on the path as you're going through this consciousness shift, if this is, if you're worthy of it. Indeed you are, Scorpio. Indeed you are. So I'm going to pull another card here. Spirit's saying to put it on this riding the cosmic wave, both of them. Okay. Gratitude. So I am thankful and humble as I move through life. I receive willingly, lovingly, and graciously. I recognize and appreciate the small things in life, the synchronicities and beauty that can be found in each and every moment. I am grateful. Okay, so that goes on here. And then I also got sensuality. This is very interesting. Because creativity and sensuality are so connected. And also, I think the sensuality is about the active engagement of the senses through this, through this process here, this clarity, this seeking clarity, being on the path. I think we forget that riding the cosmic wave is also about us being in touch with our senses, right? Being grounded in a grounded sensuality. That is a transformative process. That is not only where we understand what's most important to us, but that is also where we see transformations taking place. So this sensuality here, so gratitude. So I am grateful. Yeah, I recognize and appreciate the small things in life, the synchronicities and beauty that can be found in each and every moment. This is so wonderful. Then we have sensuality here. So sensuality and pleasure are my birthright to be experienced with blissful joy. I honor and embrace my sexuality, recognizing the sacred sexual connection with myself and the intimate partner of my choice. It is safe for me to be sensual and sexual and be respected for this. Pleasure and enjoyment are good, clean, and healthy. I experience pleasure. And so something that came to mind while I was reading this is the fact that the eighth house is your house, Scorpio. So eighth house. And what I'm also seeing from here is that the eighth house is like, it rules that sort of, the people say like sex, death, and taxes. That's true. But I think about this as like the transformative power of sex and sensuality together to transcend. So this could also be ways that you're engaging in that energy and using it in service to this higher purpose. So that can be something as well. And it's not even, it's not even a thing that's like, this goes beyond like lustful things and things like that. There's nothing wrong with that energy. Again, this is a sex positive space. I've said that multiple times on multiple readings, but for this in particular, I'm getting that there's like eighth house transformation and, eighth house transformation, maybe, but it's this sort of transformative power of what happens behind closed doors. And I think the sensuality piece can be that, right? These are the parts of ourselves, 3636 on the time, that we don't really show other people, broadly speaking. And not because we're ashamed of it in particular or we're trying to hide anything, but because we allow this energy to be something that fills us up. And it's that space of vulnerability that we nurture and build. So it's almost like we build a portal that allows us to feel intimacy. And this portal, that's the 3D. And then what is the 5D portal of that, right? So there's almost, I'm seeing increasingly, there's like 3D versions and 5D versions of things and ways that in each moment, there's like this parallel happening. We can integrate these things together, but we are bound, we are bodies, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So we will always have that 3D aspect to us, at least, in our lifetimes. So this right now, I'm getting this could be a potential portal, this sensuality piece and sinking into that. And again, that two perspectives on things. So it could be that your senses are giving you access. They're like access points to drop into this higher consciousness that's going to help you begin to understand not just what your path is, but how your path is enriching you. So that is wonderful. So this is the secret language of light oracle. Whoa, these cards are flying all over. Okay, so Spirit, can I get some messages for Scorpio, please, for this creative forecast? Light beings, not shocked to see that here, especially on the ancient. This is a lot of ancient energy, so knowing without knowing. It's a lot of like ancient wisdom and lifetimes coming together. And again, that's where I felt this like convergence energy. But the light beings, right? I almost get this to be like a sort of divine heritage. Interesting. But also this way that we're connected cosmically beyond, like above and beyond the everyday. And that is, I think, something that is going to be helpful to you. See, it's so interesting. I see Neptune here. So I see Neptune in the background. I don't know if you can see that. Neptune, Jupiter, and the moon. Neptune, Jupiter, and the moon. All with these like galaxies. So it's almost like these are energies that you could, they could also be in your chart somewhere that is activated right now. But yeah, wow. Scorpio. Divine Feminine. Okay. I don't know if you are on Twin Flame Journeys, those who watch this, but this could also just be the energy that you're connecting with and into right now. So connecting with and into. It's very interesting that this is on the High Priestess. This is clarifying the High Priestess energy and that connection to. I will read this again. So for some of you are on these journeys. So I'll show you this, but I'm reading from this. So this is the Heaven card. So I'm kind of crossing the lines here, but just bear with me because the energy is very wild to me and it feels wild. So rejoice and know that the dance of love between you and the divine is a removing of veils of illusion one at a time until you behold each other naked and true, finally to discover that you are each other, you are love. And then I'll read the poem to you again. So just the poem in particular is resonating almost as though it's like it's this energy altogether. So anyways, the sky ablaze with morning light on silver wings of birds in flight. In gratitude a tear released, a knowingness embraced at peace. She speaks to those that gaze below, ancestral wings which call my soul. To open hearts and soar above, in awe the winds await this love. So I almost feel like this is a way that we're stepping into, I don't even know, like stepping, well, I do know. I'm trying to articulate this energy here, stepping into this energy within ourselves. This could be an activation of this energy for you through this higher consciousness that you're stepping into. This can also just be an activation of divine energy. If you are on or in a twin flame journey, this could be energy center activation through that. So it's entirely possible that these journeys can all take different forms for different folks, but I'm getting this very serious, like this is possibly the energy in you that is active right now, potentially, the receptive energy and maybe this is also, I just got this come to me now, but this is possibly also energy that's active for everybody right now, right? This is, not everybody, but there's like collective energy that is more in this space, right? And I feel like I'm feeling like this, this energy of, this energy of like, I'm hearing again that galactic chakra. Something about this being opened, but it being connected to this type of energy in you or others around you. And it's sort of this collective awakening that we're experiencing. So, dang, that's incredible. Really and truly. I'm going to pull from the Miracles Now deck to close this out for you, Scorpio. I hope this has been helpful. Let me just move my decks around here. Move my decks around. Oh, that one on there. Got it. Spirit, can I get some messages for Scorpio, please? I'm hearing right now that there's something that you're going to need to release around the full moon. Whether that's a mindset or an expectation. It's not a person I'm getting. I'm getting more of an energy. More of an energy that you've directed at yourself, maybe? That you've directed at yourself. I surrender my desires and I know the universe has my back. Yes. This is again, this like surrender energy, but surrendering to the journey, I feel. And it's really just trusting right now that everything is going to be okay, my darling Scorpios. Everything's going to be okay. And I pray before I pay. Now, this to me is less about dollars. This is less about dollars. And to me, this is more about, less about dollars and more about what are we investing in, right? Have we connected with our higher wisdom and this higher consciousness that we're stepping into or have already? And are we asking questions of this energy and ourselves through this? Right? Are we asking questions of value? Are we asking questions about what's most important to us through these changes and shifts? There we go. You can probably see the cards a little better. But what are we asking of this energy and ourselves, right? Wow, Scorpio, this was a lot. This is amazing, though. I'm quite excited for this. I'm quite excited to see how this unfolds for all of you. But Scorpio, this was your reading for May. So if this resonated, please like and subscribe. It helps me to grow the channel and to continue to do this, which I really and truly am humbled and love to do. So thank you so much for that. And there are other ways to connect with me on the channel, so do check out my other videos. But if this is where we part, my darling Scorpios, I hope that you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or night, wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum. All right, take care, my darlings.